Cells, structure. Cells are very small, so large organisms contain millions of cells. Some organisms are called unicellular, they are made of single cell. Bacteria and yeast are the example of the single-celled organisms. Cells are seen through microscope. Commonly used ones are light microscope, which shines light through the substance, magnify and focus on image. This magnify up to 1500 times. For further granularity inside the cells and their parts, we can use electron microscope. Cell structure. All sorts of animal and plant cell have a cell membrane around outside. Inside the cell membrane is a jelly-like substance called cytoplasm. The cytoplasm has many small structures called organelles. The most obvious organelles are called nucleus. The plant cells are surrounded by cell wall made of cellulose, though animal cell does not have cell wall made of cellulose. Cellulose belongs to group of substances called polysaccharides. They form fibers which crisscross to form strong covering to cell. If the cell absorbs lot of water and swells, the cell wall stops it bursting. The plant cell wall is fully permeable. All cells have membranes surrounding the cell, called cell surface or plasma membrane. This is a thin layer of protein and fat, and it controls what goes in and out of the cell membrane as it is partial permeable. Cytoplasm is clear jelly. Most of it is water. It contains many substances dissolved in it, especially proteins. Many metabolic reactions take place in the cytoplasm. A vacuole is a space in the cell surrounded by a membrane and containing a solution. Plant cells have large vacuole, containing solution of sugar and other solution called cell sap. Animal cells have much smaller vacuoles, which may contain food or water. Chloroplasts are not found in animal cell. However, cells in green plant of cell have them. They contain green coloring or pigment called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll absorbs sunlight and is used for making food for plant by photosynthesis. The nucleus is where genetic information is stored, which helps cell to make right sort of proteins. The information is kept on the chromosomes, inherited from organism parent. They are made of DNA. Comparison of animal and plant cell. Both have cell surface membrane surrounding cell, have cytoplasm and nucleus. Differences. Plant cell have cellulose cell wall, animal cell does not have cell wall. Plant cell have chloroplast containing chlorophyll, animal cell does not have. Plant cell have large vacuoles, animal cell have small vacuoles. Plant cells are regular in size, animal cell are irregular in shape. Cells and organism. The structures within cells are called organelles. The nucleus and chloroplast are organelles, which are structures in the cells with special functions. There are division of labor between cells for specialized functions, like muscle cell are adapted for movements. Cells also group together called tissues, which specialize in same activity. Plants have also tissues like in-leaf cells make up palisade tissue, in which cells are specialized to carry out photosynthesis. Movement in and out of cell. Atoms, molecules and ions are always moving. The higher the temperature, the faster they move. In solids, the particles cannot move that far because they are held by attractive forces between them. In liquid, they can move more freely, knocking into one another and rebounding. Diffusion. Living organisms obtain many of their requirements by diffusion. For example, plants need carbon, dioxide for photosynthesis. This diffuses from air into the leaves through stomata. The diffusion happens as there is low concentration in the leaf than outside the air. Oxygen is the waste product of photosynthesis that diffuses out in the same way. Diffusion is also important in gas exchange for respiration in animals and plants. Diffusion is also helpful for the flowering plants to attract pollinators like bees. We can demonstrate diffusion in a solution by placing the crystal of potassium permanganate in still water. We observe how the color is distributed from the start and after few days. Osmosis. In osmosis, water diffuses through partially permeable membrane. The membrane has holes or pores in it which are very small, like whisking tubing. This membrane is called a partially permeable membrane because it will let some molecules through and not others. The dilute solution has high water potential, while concentrated solution has low water potential. Thus there is water potential gradient between two sides, and thus the water diffuses down this gradient from high water potential to low water potential. Animal cell in pure water. The cytoplasm inside the cell is a fairly concentrated solution. The proteins and other substances dissolved inside are too big to get through the cell membrane. The water molecules though can get through, so they diffuse from the dilute solution to concentrated solution. Next we see the animal cell in the concentrated solution. If solution is more concentrated than the cytoplasm, water molecules will diffuse out of cell. Cytoplasm shrinks and cell shrivels up. Osmosis and plant cell. Plant cell is surrounded by cell wall which is fully permeable. It also has a cell surface membrane like animal cell which is partial permeable. The plant cell has a very strong cell wall around it, which will stop the plant cell from bursting. The plant cell in this state is like a blown-up tire, tight and firm, said to be turgid. The turgidity of the cells helps plants to stay upright and keep leaves firm. In concentrated solution, the plant cell will also lose water by osmosis. The cell will become floppy, called flaccid. Active transport. Often cells need to take in substance which are present in small quantities around them. Root hair cells in plants take in nitrate ion from the soil. Now the concentration of nitrate ion would be higher in plant cell than in soil, so the diffusion gradient is out of root hair cell to soil. However, we want it to flow in the root hair cell, so how does that happen? The cells do that by the process called active transport. Active transport is energy-consuming process by which substances are transported against their concentration gradient. In cell membrane of root hair cells are special carrier proteins. They pick up nitrate ions from outside cell and then change shape to push nitrate ion through cell membrane in the cytoplasm of cell.